Because if the first speaker did not offend you, did not inspire you, did not motivate you to want to tweet, write, take a note, find his book, something, this second speaker definitely will. And I'm hoping that he's actually there. We're going to get ready to bring him onto the call and introduce one of my favorite people. So I'm going to start his first few slides for him because they're his introduction, and I know how he feels about introductions, and well, he's not going to want to introduce himself too much. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk about the gentleman who's going to now talk about practical social media lead generation. How many of you would like to learn some practical social media lead generation? Scott told us use Pinterest right. Scott told us to make sure we're using QR codes correctly. Scott told us to use Facebook and Twitter the right way. How would you like to hear from a gentleman who's doing all those things? That's going to be the guy we're bringing up next for you. And like I said, if you were not offended by the first guy, the second speaker is going to find a way. Now for questions and answers, here's where he wants you to go. You can find him on Twitter, making sure that he's got a lot of replies and a lot of people having private conversation with him. He's going to check his stats later and make sure it's at least 75% of his tweets. You'll find him at twitter.com/Ben Kinney. And if you have any questions specific for Ben, you're going to find him at facebook.com/IMS designation. And with that being said, I want to bring on to you the founder of the Internet Marketing Specialist designation with some places that you can find him online, Mr. Ben Kinney. Ben, are you out here, or am I just talking about you and you're not even on the call yet?
Well, the funny thing is you guys just never know if I'm going to be here or not, right?
That's one thing that keeps us on our toes, Ben.
Yes, if I was introduced on a TV commercial, I would be introduced as Ben Kinney, the most irritating man in the world.
Screen is all yours, Mr. Kinney. Take it away.
Chad, how's it looking? Can you hear me and can you see my screen pretty good?
Looks good, and you sound fantastic.
Gosh, what a nice change. Hey, it was a nice, pleasant surprise to see somebody that used more inappropriate words on a webinar than me. But I have made a goal today to make it through my entire webinar without offending anybody but people who directly work with or for me. So, Chad, Bob, and of course I'll throw my buddy Chris, since we work together so much. If I can offend you three, I'm good. But everybody else in the call, you guys are safe. Scott took that one for you guys today, and I'm just going to jump right into the nuts and bolts of how do we actually generate some income from this thing called social media. Now, Chad, are you still there with me?
I am.
Now, my presenter view of what the audience sees shows my screen very fuzzy. Is it showing that way to you? Is that just mine?
Looks fantastic over here. Just speak up a little bit for everybody.
Okay. Everybody else on the call, if you guys can hear me all right, let's throw something into that chat box just so I can know that you guys are paying attention. And if you're specific friends of mine, I'd love to see you guys throw that out there too and say hi. So, everybody else, we are here today. We're going to talk about how do we generate some actual leads and some actual closings through anything social. And the definition for social to me doesn't mean that it has to come from a social network. It means that that platform has to have some social interaction. So whatever content you're sharing or ideas you're sharing, it has to have the ability for people to comment or interact, for people to like, for people to retweet, for people to comment, all those types of things. So this would include not only Facebook, Twitter, Google+, blogs, LinkedIn, YouTube, but also forums, Active Rain, and so on. Now, my goal with social media is not so much to be this one person online, but for my online presence to match my offline presence, and my offline presence, being my business presence, to also match who I am today, who I am as a personal, as an individual. What I mean is I want to make sure that my Photoshop picture online is at least semi-resembling what I look like in real life, and I don't want to put a picture online of me in a tie because I don't even know how to tie one unless Chad was in the room to help me. I want to make sure that Yeah, that's true, right, Chad? I want to represent who I am. You know, if any of you guys know me, if you want to type into the chat box, what am I wearing 99% of the time? And I'm kind of scared to ask that question. I think we're going to get some pretty funny responses. But my goal is always important to me. I'm always thinking with the end in mind. I know I was walking with an individual the other day, and we're kind of doing some coaching, some talking, and we're looking down at the ground and on the concrete in front of me. I would look down and I said, you know, Nick, I see all these things in the pavement. There's gum stuck to it, and there's these cracks, and there's these oil stains, and there's all these problems. And so many people around me, they notice these things. But I'll tell you that the difference with me, Nick, is I'm looking all the way towards the blue sky in front of me. And there may be gum and oil stains and cracks on the concrete below me, but I don't really care because I'm going where I'm going. And so many people get stopped because they don't have really a long-term goal. Well, I know where I'm going. In social media, my goals are simple. I want to generate clicks to my website. I want to generate calls to my phone, or preferably to somebody on my team's phone, because I don't really like talking to people. I want to generate messages, either emails or Facebook messages or direct tweets. I want to generate people registering on my website. I want to build my brand. I want to know, no matter where you go around my pig farming town of Bellingham, Washington, that you see me and you know that I'm the mayor of this town. Well, not figuratively, but I want to be the person that you see everywhere. And I want, when you think about real estate or you think about growing your business, that you're thinking about me. And additionally, I want to grow my audience. And the audience for me is how many people have registered on my website. You know, we have one website, just in the last year and a half, we have 27,000 buyers that are still actively looking for real estate that have registered on there. And those are the people, that's my audience for my real estate portal. Now, I have my audience on Twitter and my audience on Facebook, and I have my audience for my fan pages, and I have my Foursquare audience, but they cap it at 1,000 people. Foursquare, if you're listening, that's stupid. I have my Google Plus, and I have all these different networks, and I'm creating this audience of people, and I just hope that there's enough people listening so that it'll accomplish my goals of generating enough sales so that I can take care of my friends and family this year. Now, brand recognition is important to me, and social media is really 50% about building your brand and 50% about generating hard leads. So I'm always trying to make sure that at any given time I'm doing both. Now, my goal is to work with an audience, and my audience isn't a singular group. It's a group of people that I haven't met yet. These are all the people that might be within a 100-mile radius of my town right now that I have access to through social media sites. They're all the people that I've actually met, or I can find some sort of way to connect to them. Those would be like friends of friends, or people that I saw at a party or a function, or people that are members of the community that I might have passed, or other agents. I want to make sure that I can connect with those people. And then my sphere. And my sphere, to me, means the people that have the highest probability of doing business with me, of referring somebody to my business. And we're going to spend a little bit extra time today talking about Brian Buffini, Eat Your Heart Out. This is how we do the Brian Buffini plan on social media. Now, when thinking about online branding, there's 3 ways to approach it. There's people that are actually out there searching for things, and we hope that they find us. There's us actually searching for them, and I'll give you examples of all these things so I don't sound like I'm talking gibberish. And then I'm talking about my audience and my online branding to the people that I'm connected to. I'm talking about the people that I'm already friends, followers, connections, and so on with. And then there's just me going out and marketing myself, hoping that they're going to see my advertisement. And the reason that this is important in this particular talk is because Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, Twitter ads, these are all ways that we can spend money, and we can outwardly promote and market ourselves to generate some more business. And we're doing a little bit of all this. No, no matter what level your business is in, whether you're an individual agent and you're just trying to get to that next 18 to 24 deals, or if you're running a small team and you're thinking about how do I build my team bigger, or I run a gigantic brokerage. I'm in Texas and I want to recruit people to my brokerage. We're going to start using these tools to get connected, to market our brand, and to find people to work with us. Now, the tactics that I use, you can use to recruit people to your team, recruit people to your brokerage. You can use to recruit people to your sphere, and you can use it to recruit buyers and sellers. That's my biggest job today, is I'm always out there looking for talent. Every day I'm wandering around aimlessly looking to see if the person in front of me I should be in business with, I should be recruiting to one of my companies, or I should be avoiding like they had a rash. Now, many times people think that social media is this thing that they do all day, and they show up and the entire day they're on social media, and they leave and they go home and they tell their spouse, hello, I was working hard today. No, it's social networking. What I mean by that, it's work. It's a job. If you aren't finding ways to get paid every day, turn it off. Go back to the traditional door knocking and open houses. That'll work fine for you. But I have a game plan, and my game plan just divides up my day. And for those of you guys that know me, I'm a little bit impatient. My job is to try to get as much stuff as I can done in my normal 18-hour workday. So social media can only be a small part of it. So my day is pretty simple. By 6:30, I'm up in the shower. By 7, I go potty. I grab something to eat. I get to the office around 8. I check my email. I check my social media. Maybe I have some coffee or some tea. By 8:30, I'm role-playing, practicing my scripts. From 9 to noon, everybody in our organization is prospecting either for new agents or for new clients. At noon, we're checking our social media, maybe grab some Thai food. And from 1 to 6, we're on appointments, either with agents to join our company, staff to work for our companies, or buyers or sellers that can help our business. If we have no appointments in the afternoon, we rinse and repeat, and we start over with step 4, which means in the afternoon we go back to prospecting. And then again at night, we're back on social media, maybe hitting up some Dancing with the Stars. Now, if you look at that and you look at my day, social media is a part of my day in about 3 times: morning, lunch, and evening. A lot of times I can do that while I'm doing something else. I don't know how many people on the call today have checked social media while they're doing something that they shouldn't have been in our class, or maybe when you're going potty or something like that. I know so many people just get out their cell phone and they're scrolling through and checking their tweets and their Facebook, and they're doing that in the funniest places, aren't they? Well, for me, I just try to do it when I can't do anything else, and I do it 3 times a day to make sure I'm connecting with my friends that are on in the mornings, afternoons, and nights. And we have a schedule. We keep a time block schedule, and just like you would time block your lead generation, I want you to time block your social media. I want to say for 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at lunch, and 15 minutes in the evening, I'm going to block some time to be building my brand, working my sphere, and prospecting through social media. Now we're going to focus a little bit more on how do we actually do that, and how do we work the audiences that we care about. Now, the average agent in the United States does less than 3 transactions. That's sad in itself. But if you're a good agent, and let's say you're going to do 8 to 10 or 20 deals a year, which is a fantastic income for so many of our markets, many of the agents that do that level of business rely entirely on their sphere. Problem is, so many people from our sphere are mad at us, and they're mad at us because we sold them houses in 2004 at the height of the market, and now they're all going down in value. So we may need to expand our sphere into people that we haven't already sold homes to. We need to find a way to generate some referrals to people that are looking to buy or sell. We may be using this to generate appointments with the actual people in our database. You can see if they're looking to buy or sell. Or we're going to do it to strengthen the relationship, as Scott said. Now, I'm not going to be as passive as Scott was. As Scott says, it's much more about, marketing and branding and building rapport. To me, it's about how do I get paid, because I'm impatient, and if I can't use social media to generate a lead, a click, or a closing, I'm probably going to move on. So I'm thinking about how do I generate an appointment every single day. I think if you don't generate an appointment today from social media, you get kicked off of it for the next day. Now, when working your sphere, I'm just going to give you a couple of examples on what you can do on Facebook. How do you work your database from Facebook? To Google, how do we use Google to find information from people that we know, people that we're connected to in some manner? LinkedIn, and then even some of the other social networks like Foursquare or anything else related to Foursquare, Scavenger, and so on. Now, Bob makes up the titles of these webinars that we do, and sometimes Chad and Chris, and they usually come up with one, and then they send it to me, and they say, hey, make a class about this. So today they wanted tactical things, so they may not be as advanced, but they're really practical. And if you run a team or you run an office, I want you to use these things and get the people in your office or on your team to do these things, because if you had 50 people digging, you could get that hole much bigger. Or if you're by yourself, these are the tactics for you to build your business. Now, I use Facebook in the morning to figure out what's up. What I mean by what's up is what's going on in my friends' lives. What are the things that my sphere, my past clients, what are they up to? And the reason that I do that is because picking up the phone and just calling somebody like Brian Buffini told us to do, sometimes that gets awkward. You know, we pick up the phone and we call Chad and we're like, hey Chad, this is Ben Kinney at XYZ Realty, and I was just calling to see who you know that might be thinking about buying or selling real estate in the next 30 days. Oh, no one? Well, that's okay. If you did know somebody, would you feel comfortable referring my way? Okay, I appreciate that. And we go through the scripts and dialogues and so on. What I like to do is I like to call people with a purpose. And the purpose is not about me, it's about them. So I'll be looking at my Facebook and I'll be scrolling through there and I'll be like, oh, look, Stacy's playing softball. So when I call her, I'm going to start talking about softball. Stacy, I just saw on Facebook you're playing softball. You're in the softball league. I didn't know they had those around here. If I wanted to come watch, where would I see that at? I'd love to see you and watch you hit that ball out of the park. Then I'd scroll down and I'd see, oh, look, Rob, you caught the ugliest fish I've ever seen in my life. I called Rob up and I said, Rob, what is that ugly fish you just posted on Facebook? And then my goal is in that conversation, once I ask what they've been up to, they're going to ask me what I'm up to. And what I'm going to say is I've been at work. Because if they don't know what I'm doing, they're going to say, what do you do for work? If they do know what I'm doing, they're going to ask me how work is. And my response is simple, and it's just a script. My script says, work's pretty good. You know, contrary to what the newspapers say sometimes, I've been getting a whole lot of referrals from my friends and family, people like you. You know, a lot of buyers that are thinking about taking advantage of these bank owns and good deals that are out there, and a lot of sellers that want to get their home sold so they can go out and buy or move to another area. By the way, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell real estate that I might be able to help? I'm making them ask me about it. If you're having a hard time calling your sphere, use Facebook as your reason to call them. It's not calling them for referral. It's calling them about whatever you learned on Facebook. Now, when you're sorting through Facebook, you're going to get a collection of people you know or you don't know. There'll be maybe you get a whole lot of real estate agents that ask to be your friends or you know, local realtors or so on. So you got to be able to sort by your people. So when I go on Facebook, I go and I sort by things like hometown or by workplace, maybe by the school they went to or the current city that they live, or by an interest. For instance, if I just maybe listed a property that is equestrian, a horse property, I might go and search by interest and type in horses or equestrian, and then I'll call everybody in my sphere and tell them about the property that I just listed. Or by current city, if I want to just work somebody local on a listing that I just got, or I just want to talk to the people and invite them to this client event that I'm doing. Or maybe I just want to see who's a friend of one of my friends, and then I'll work all that network. You know, using these lists will allow you to more effectively use Facebook to generate business and not just waste time. Well, the next thing that you do is you got to create Facebook list. and I'll put people on these lists just so I can easily sort and see the individuals. So I have my close friends and acquaintances and family, and Facebook gives me those categories automatically. But I also got Active Rain and people I worked with at Comcast and people on my team and people in my office and people that are in our IMSD designation and people that from Live City Guides and another maybe from my high school or the other school that I went to or the university, and I'll just work that list. I have my past clients, I have my sphere list, and so on. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do when I'm done stalking them on Facebook and using it as a reason to call them is I'm going to Google my sphere. And what I mean by that, I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to log in to my Google account, the one that you'd use to access Google Plus or Gmail or so on. And then I'm going to search for a phrase. And what I can do is I'll use my highlighter right here, is up top here. You can show personal results. So I can see anything that's been shared or viewed by any of my friends. So I'll search by cities, I'll search for keywords, moving to, anything that might be related, and I'll see all my friends that have posted a picture, or here's Chad talking about the Gary Vaynerchuk event we did here in Bellingham, and I see Melina, one of my top agents, she's talking about something, and I'll go through and I'll see what my sphere is doing, and I'll use that as a reason to call them. What I'm really doing on LinkedIn and on Facebook and on Google is I'm just looking for changes in their life. I'm looking for things that may indicate that they want to buy or sell real estate or they may need my services. Now, I'll go to LinkedIn and I'll look through all the top headlines, all the updates. I'll see who just changed a job, and that's my reason to call them. I might send them a handwritten note to say congratulations. I'll see who got a promotion, and I'll call them and say, now that you're making more money, you probably want a bigger house. Now, some of you on the call, I'm not going to say who, but I know who, some of you guys hate calling your sphere. You feel like you're going to inconvenience them. Let me share with you a tip that my coach, and I have a full-time real estate coach, her name is Debbie DeGroat. She is phenomenal and amazing. She gave me this tip. She said, take your sphere, print it out on a list, get another agent in your office, print it out on a list, and exchange spheres. And I was like, what? That's goofy. She said, no, do this. Give the other person the sphere, and you take theirs, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to call everybody on their list, and I want you to say, hi, this is Ben Kinney from Keller Williams Realty. I'm Chad Himes' assistant. Chad asked me to give you a call and check in to see if you need anything or had any real estate related questions. He was thinking about you, and he's out working with clients right now, but he wanted me to check in with you. Is there anything that I can do? And what I found is that agents have no problems calling somebody else's sphere. They would much rather ask one of my friends or family for a deal than they would ask their own. But what happens at the end of the day when you just got done asking all Chad's sphere for a referral, and you see that Chad's sphere just referred 3 deals to him because you asked, you start realizing that, hey, my friends and family would do that too. And you get the confidence, and it starts working. Now, for those of you guys that have a Foursquare account, we like to check in at different places. Hey, look, the last place that I checked in was Bayview Cemetery. See, people are dying to get in there, and I wanted to see what all the buzz was about. That's a bad joke, wasn't it?
That was horrible, horrible. On behalf of everybody, that was horrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got a lot of disgruntled people on the webinar right now. Yeah, I got to come up with something better. Carrie just flat out called me dumb. So anyway, I'm going to use Foursquare because I'm going to see where my friends are at. So when I'm out in town, if I see any of my sphere might be in an area, I might swing in and just say hi, or that might be the reason to call them. Hey, I see blah, blah, blah was at Chick-fil-A. By the way, I love Chick-fil-A, so that might be my reason to call them. Using as much information as you can to build rapport and to build relationships is going to set you apart from everybody else. It's also going to let your sphere, your family, your friends know that you care. They aren't going to care about what you know until they know that you care. Now, what I'm going to do when I'm done is I'll go make all my calls for the day, and my goal is to talk to 10 people in my sphere every single day. That's talk to, not dial. Is at the end of the day, if I find anything that was meaningful, I'm going to take the time to send them a card. Now, I don't know if Jay Papazan's on this call today, but Jay, he's the author of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent and Shift and many other good books and a good friend of mine. Well, Jay come up fishing with me last weekend, and he got his butt whooped. I'll tell you, I whooped him. He caught less fish than me. Now, the year before, he whooped me, so it's only fair. But I took one of the pictures that he posted on Facebook, and I went to send out cards, and I created a card based on the picture he posted on Facebook, and I sent it to him. And at the bottom, you can see what I wrote. Not that I was counting, but it was 6-1. Now, I use this as a way to show people that I'm paying attention, that I care about them. You can scan through Facebook and see all the pictures that they post, maybe a picture of their kid's birthday or a picture of them doing something exciting, and you can take the time of just posting this picture on send-out cards, and it'll send them a card. Now, Chad, you're better at this than me. Are you still there, buddy?
Yeah, absolutely.
How much are the cards that we send out? Is it like 80 cents or something?
It's regular postage. It's just standard postage of whatever you would normally send for a card, Ben, and then you get points in the system. So you spend some money and you buy some points.
So it's cheap. I don't know. Who do we get our card system from? What's his name?
Scott Miller.
Oh, Scott Miller. So Google Scott Miller. He's a crazy guy. But I create cards based on the pictures that people post on Facebook. I send it directly to them. If I just sold their house, I'll take a picture of their house, I'll put it on a card, and I'll send it to them. It takes it all up to a new level. Forget the handwritten notes with the buy referral only stickers on there. No way. Send them a picture of their kid or their house or something exciting or something funny. Notice in the background I got a whole bunch of pictures of the honey badgers, because I like sending pictures of honey badgers to people, because you know I don't give a ... Now, I was playing around trying to figure out how can I generate some more business from people I don't already know, leveraging social media. And I was thinking about how can I leverage searching. And by searching, I mean Google. I want to Google things to find people that might be a potential client. Now, when you go to Google, you can click in Google and you type in the words that you want. So I typed in last night, moving to Bellingham. And then I go and I sort down on the left-hand bar where it says everything, and it says photos and videos and shopping results. If you click the More button, you can click on forums, and then you can click on blog posts. And you can see that anybody that's used the phrase moving to Bellingham will show up in that list. And you can go jump on other forums or on other blogs and say, hey, I see you're moving back to Bellingham. Are you thinking about buying or renting? That's what I do for a living. I'd love to help you, and it's always nice to have a new friend if you're coming here, blah, blah, blah. And you can search for any word that you want. What I'm saying is that you go in there, you type relocating to Bellingham, leaving Bellingham, moving to Whatcom County, just got a job at a major employer here, one of the pig farms. You can use whatever word you want, and you can start finding people that are making comments, writing blog posts, and interacting on forums. Forums are social because they allow for interaction and comments, and you can find real leads. I find people all the time on Twitter and on forums and on blog posts that are posting things like, thinking about buying a house. Well, hey, stupid. That's a lead, right? I get people to say, just fired my realtor, thinking about doing a FSBO. How much should I sell my home for? Should I stage it? And I ask all these questions, and Google gives you the ability to kick this up to a whole new notch, to get some free leads. Everybody on the call like free leads? Please type in yes or no. It's rhetorical. At least some people. Yes, thank you, Richard, the one person that listened to me. Oh, so I was thinking about on Google for you guys. You're thinking about, I want to go to Google. I'll take this tip. I'm going to search on forums. I'm going to search on blogs, and I'm going to figure out what are people typing in. Well, some of you guys, you got to understand the long tail truth. And if you were on one of the 30 different rain camps that Bob and I did traveling the nation where I gained 30 pounds in 1 year, you learned about the long tail. But the long tail is simple. This gentleman named Chris wrote this book called The Long Tail. And he said if you looked at the top 10 most commonly searched words for real estate, it would be like Bellingham, Bellingham real estate, Bellingham homes. And you added up the sum of all those searches, the sum of all those searches would equal 20% of the available traffic. Therefore, you're missing out on 80% of the available clients, the available traffic, if you only focused on the most common phrases. Now, I care about the long tail. I want the phrases that are more specific. Short tail would be Bellingham real estate. Long tail would be Lake Whatcom waterfront home. I want somebody that knows exactly what type of property they want to buy, where they want to live, and how much they want to pay for it. Now, that's a good lead. So understanding the long tail will allow you to see what word should I focus on and what's going to give me the highest quality leads. Now, I use this software called HitTail, and HitTail, it monitored the traffic to one of my websites, livebellingham.com, and they said my top 10 keywords were 19.6% of all my available search traffic, and my long tail keywords were 80%, so that followed the 80-20 rule, right? And that people typed in 51,642 different words to get to my Live Bellingham site, and Live Bellingham's a city guide. Now, on the city guide, they can learn about things like restaurants and airports and hotels and nightlife and bars and all those types of things. And I started getting those people when they're researching moving to Bellingham, because before they wanted to buy a house, they want to know where they're going to eat, where they're going to stay, what the neighborhoods are like, what's the crimes like, what you can do for fun, the beaches, the bars, the churches, the child care, so on. Now, if you're thinking in your life, what would people be typing in your market that might indicate that they might be interested in buying or selling real estate, and you can't figure out what the long tail would be, go to google.com and search for Google Keyword Selector. The Google Keyword Selector allows you to see how much competition there is for a keyword, how many times people have searched it in the last month, and how many of those people are actually local. Now, the nice thing is if you went to the Google Keyword Selector and you typed in something like Bellingham real estate or move into Bellingham, it'll tell you how many people type that in. It'll give you all the related phrases that consumers use to get there as well. So this allows me to be creative when I'm searching forums and blog posts and Google to find potential clients. It also allows me when I'm searching Twitter and searching Facebook to find good, reliable leads. And it gives me ideas that I may not have thought of and how many people actually search for it. Now, I like videos. I like watching videos. I don't like to read. The words are too big. There isn't enough pictures. Something happened after kindergarten where the reading experience went dramatically downhill, with the exception of Jay's books, because Jay's brilliant. But besides that, I want to watch some videos. Don't make me read what you want to say. Don't send me that long 4-paragraph email. What I want you to do is I want you to create a video of it. My friend Ken Renner, he's an awesome agent in Austin. He owns this neighborhood in Austin. And you know that he owns it because when you type in that neighborhood's name in Google, he comes up right on the front page, and not his website, but his videos. And his videos get a massive amount of views. This one little video just about a property gets 9,000 people that watched it. He has videos, his entire profile has been seen so many times, it just blows me away. So I want you to start thinking about how do you create videos that you can post to YouTube, videos of your properties, videos of neighborhoods, videos of amenities, videos of restaurants, videos of everything in your town, and start posting them to YouTube, because the search engines are listening and they're going to start showing up in the search results. The thing that makes this applicable to today's conversation is people can make comments. People comment on the videos, they ask questions, they interact. And if you're listening, you can find leads. In fact, they don't have to be your videos. You find videos about moving to Bellingham or about Bellingham, Washington, or whatever you want, and then you go and you look at the comments. And if people made a comment that you think might indicate that they might be moving, you're going to click on them, send them a message, start stalking them, sell them a house. Now, the neighborhood that my friend Ken focuses on is Avery Ranch. And here's an example of how Avery Ranch video shows up on the first page of Google. Wouldn't that be cool? Well, I mean, that's what Active Rain did for me, and that's why I got so involved, and that's how I met Bob, because I started writing on Active Rain about all my neighborhoods and all the areas of Bellingham. And when somebody typed those things into the search engines, my Active Rain blog post showed up #1. I mean, you don't believe me, go type in Lake Whatcom waterfront home, or type in Lake Whatcom view home there. That one blog post that I wrote in 2004, 2005, or whenever it was a long time ago anyway, it gets me a couple deals a year. And if you've ever been to Lake Whatcom, those aren't cheap homes. I make $10,000 to $20,000 off my $39 a month Active Rain account. Are you kidding me? Now, some of you guys, how many people on the phone on this call today have an iPhone? Okay. If anybody on this call has a BlackBerry, just hang up now. I'm not mad at you, but just hang up. Now, what I mean is this is important. You guys ever heard of Siri? Now, Siri is a sassy little girl that when you ask a question on your new iPhone or on your iPad, she says, searching. Right? You could say, Siri, find me a restaurant. Siri, find me a real estate company. Siri, tell me about the weather. Siri, you can call me the most interesting man in the world. And she says, I will call you the most interesting man in the world. She's sassy, though, and she backtalks me all the time. She says, I'm sorry, I could not understand. Or she comes up with this entirely different word. But this is important to you guys, is when you go to Siri and you ask a question like, Siri, find me a Bellingham real estate company. Siri, find me a Bellingham realtor. They're going to give you results. And my friend Jay, he found this out for me. Their results are based on Yelp reviews. Are you kidding me? What it means is the very first person she sees is based on the number of people that have given you a positive review on Yelp. Now, Siri is starting to use social things like Yelp. Maybe in the future will be Angie's List and maybe even Zillow reviews. They're using reviews to determine what results she's going to give you when you ask a question. I thought that was crazy. And for you guys on the call right now today, that might be your tip of the day. Create reviews. Get your clients to add reviews on Yelp, on Zillow, on Angie's List, on all those places. It is so, so important. And those reviews are going to start showing up in everything. I think that Google's going to start paying attention to them. I think that Bing, I think that Facebook, I think Siri, I think all these places are going to start taking into considerations what people say about us when providing results. Now, let's move on to more of the real social aspect to talking about our connections. Connections for me would be, Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and Google Plus and YouTube and MySpace and Match.com and all those great places. That's where you can get connected online. Now, Facebook. There's a couple ways that we can get paid from Facebook. What I'm talking about is creating a Facebook profile. One of my friends down there in Dallas, Texas. I don't know why I have so many friends in Texas. If you're from Texas, tell me you're from Texas on the call today. But my friend Seychelle, she does a really great job of working her sphere. Her and her mom have a business called Vanpool Properties. They use Facebook profiles extremely effectively to generate real solid leads from their sphere. They post videos to their sphere on there. They use Facebook chat to ask for referrals. They use Facebook to build relationships. And like so many of the top agents around the nation, they use Facebook to get referrals not only from their sphere, but from other agents. Now, Facebook is one of these annoying things where it either works for you or it doesn't. On Facebook, your results is really, it's a popularity contest. Now, we want to be popular on Facebook, and by that I mean we want to make sure people click like on our post. We want to make sure that people share it, and we want to make sure that people comment on it. To do that, you have to understand EdgeRank. EdgeRank is the algorithm that Facebook uses when trying to determine if your content will show up in somebody else's newsfeed. Now, I was with a friend yesterday, and we found the craziest thing, and Chris Smith, if you're out there, and Chad, and Bob, I want you guys to think about this because I haven't talked to you about it yet. This person was from another state, but they were in Bellingham visiting, and when they were visiting, their newsfeed showed more results from people locally than it did from people far away, based on where their iPhone was at the time. You guys ever heard of that?
That sounds awesome.
It's crazy, isn't it?
You'll know
First
what's
time.
going on in your area.
Right. Well, this edge rank, it's pretty simple. It's just the affinity score between two viewing users and the edge creator multiplied by the weight for the edge type times the time decay factor based on how long ago the edge was created. Everybody on the call understand that equation?
That was simple, Ben. We all got that.
That's what I was thinking. It was pretty much a duh, right? No, what it means is affinity score. Affinity score is how much affinity is there between two individual people. So Chad and I, we have a lot of affinity. Not intimately, not yet, you sexy man. But what what I mean is that I comment on Chad's stuff a lot. I view Chad's profile a lot. I look at his photos. He looks at mine. He comments on mine. He likes mine. I comment on his. I like his. I share his, and so on. We're creating a lot of affinity between us two people. That means that whenever we log in, Chad and I are stuck seeing each other's stuff. Now you got to find a way to get people in your sphere to interact with you. And sometimes the best way is to start by interacting with them. Comment on their stuff, like their photos, visit their profile, send them messages, engage in chat. On your own profile, to get people to engage with you, do what Chris Smith has mastered. Ask questions. Don't just say, the weather today in New York City is dreary. Say, the weather here sucks. What's it like where you're at? He does a good job of getting a ton of comments on every one of his posts because he understands affinity score and how important it is. The next thing is you got to understand weight, and weight is based on edge type. So what type of content are you sharing? There is definitely some important things, and some things we've never even talked about here is that text, just basic text, has the best chance of getting shared in other people's news feeds. Just simple photos has another great chance. Videos is a little bit less. Links to other people's websites is the least. But we found out something the other day, my cousin Chris Smith and I, I can't say enough nice things about Chris when he's listening, is, get that, Chris? See, I was picking on you. No, I love Chris. Not intimately, but I do love him. Now, Chris, he did this test where he said on if he took the same picture and posted it directly to Facebook, and then he took the same photo and then he posted it via Instagram, his post that he posted directly without an application got 10 times more comments and likes than the one that used Instagram. And I was talking to Chad the other day, and he got the same problem with Hootsuite and TweetDeck. When you're using outside applications or applications on your iPhone where you're sharing things from a third-party source, instead of using the official Facebook things, you're not getting as many comments, you're not getting as many likes, it's not showing up in people's news feeds. That's a problem. We got to have a strategy. And then time decay factor just says that it's important to think about what time of day do you post your stuff. And if you post it at night when nobody's there, by the time it's morning, it's going to have decayed so much it's not going to be in their news feed. So be strategic when you post. Post early in the morning, post at lunch, post right after work. Don't post after midnight or 2 a.m. because we know what's been happening. Now, Facebook pages. Now, this is another good friend of mine, Wendy. She created this fan page for Keep Barton Hills Elementary School Open. Now, I like creating fan pages. I've created way too many. You just go to facebook.com/pages, and you can make an amazing fan page. You're going to have to find some other people to kind of sex it up for you a little bit. But what Wendy did is she created this fan page to keep the school open, and she had 2,000 people like it. Some of the people she knew, but most of the people she didn't. Now she has direct access as the person that created the page to see the people that liked it and to build relationships. Most people that would click like on the Keep Barton Hills Elementary School Open page are probably local, and they probably care about the neighborhood that she services when selling real estate. That's in Austin, Texas. If you guys have any referrals you want to send her away. I love this because it gives you people that you haven't met. It builds a good cause, and you're not doing shameless promotion of your listings and your blog posts. You're actually building a community and being social and doing something good. Now, here's the secret with fan pages. Nobody ever comes back to your fan page. So if you can trick them to go there once, they're never going to come back. 98% of all fan pages don't get visited more than once. The secret is when you get them to their fan page, can you capture them? Can you get them to click like? What I want to do is I want to make sure when they get there that I can capture a lead. Now, in my life, a lead is the most important thing. A lead has value, a lead has cost, and a lead has opportunity. Now, Jimmy Mackin, he might be on this call today too, but he's a friend and a great guy. He's created some of the coolest things for Facebook, but he created this this tool. It's called Likes to Leads that allows when somebody goes there for you to capture their email address, and it's the very first thing that they see when they show up on the fan page. If you guys want to see a fan page that has it, I don't know a whole lot of them, but I know the Geeky Girls has one, so go search for the Geeky Girls and you'll see that they have Likes to Leads on there. It is an awesome tool that allows you to actually generate email addresses and leads from having a fan page. Now, if your fan page is ugly, that's going to be a problem too. There's plenty of people out there that create custom fan pages and make them look good, that has the ability to create nice images and nice side things that help you optimize it. You know, Stacy Harmon would be my choice, and the person that's helped me optimize a lot of mine, and a great author of Facebook-related materials. Her stuff is at Harmon Enterprises. And the last guy, Jimmy Mackin's at jimmymackin.com. Anyway, Stacy takes people's fan pages. Look at the ugly one that these people had. Gosh, that was ugly. And she creates it into a beautiful fan page with nice images that tell people to click like. And I like that about Stacy because she's about driving people to be engaged, and she's about generating leads for agents, and she's about building a brand. And she has a good way of creating a brand and a marketing message, not just lead gen. Now, I like Facebook groups, and there's a variety of good Facebook groups out there. We created one called the Real Estate Success Principles that Chad and I monitor, and I don't know what we're up to now, but we have over 4,000 people, and if you're on the call today, definitely go ask to join. It's a private group where we share information. But the Real Estate Success Principles is just a group that I use to network with other agents. Now, there's lots of good groups that you can create. I try creating a group for a community. I create a group for referrals. You know, we have a friend on the call today that created one of the referral groups for a specific real estate company, and it's extremely effective. Go on to Facebook and search for, you know, Exit Realty referral groups, Keller Williams referral groups, Realtor referral groups, Remax referral groups, Windermere, John L. Scott. Search for all the different brands across the nation, Coldwell Banker, Century 21, and search for specific realtor referral groups, and you'll see that referrals are being posted every single day. No longer are people going to their little book from their designation and seeing who lives in the area. They're going online and finding who would you recommend that services that area. It's good for many deals a year. Create a group for your sphere, just a private place where you guys can interact. That sphere might be things like everybody that you graduated with, or everybody that went to your university, or everybody that plays soccer with you, or whatnot. Create ones for your organizations, or create ones if you go and you do like a mud run or something like that. Make sure you create a group for everybody that went there, and you can start organizing, creating a community. You can use this to build your database and build your access. The thing that makes Facebook groups so amazing is they're private, so you can say whatever you want on there, and nobody else can see it. You can make Facebook groups private, where they have to ask to join and they can't say anything. You can make it private where they have to ask to join but they can see everything, or you can make it open where they can see everything. It's up to you. Depends on what you're doing. But it's a great way to build community, generate an audience, and generate real solid leads. Now, Twitter, you know, I'd say Scott's much better at Twitter than me. I only have about 20,000 followers. I use Twitter to build an audience. I'm looking to build an audience of real estate professionals that can send me referrals, or people that can join us on these webinars, but also local people. And although you may be familiar with twitter.com/Ben Kinney, or if you put @Ben Kinney, I'd love to connect with you guys today, you'll see that I have Twitter accounts, or you may not see, that you guys may not even know about. I have them for foreclosures in our area. I have them for our community. We have fan pages for things that people don't even know that we run. You can use these things to create whatever audience you want. For instance, we sell a lot of foreclosures, so we have one that just represents our foreclosure brand. Now, if we start doing a lot more luxury in my market means it's 10 feet wider. You get what I'm saying? We might create a whole separate brand for luxury. And then new construction, maybe for agent referrals. You can create as many personas as you want online. I would just have a hard time using one persona to do everything. For instance, If I was creating a luxury brand, I want to share luxury properties. I wouldn't want to share some of the HUD properties that we're selling. But my HUD image, my HUD brand, where I want to be able to share things that are specific to my audience. You know, I'm not talking about being multiple people, but the HUD buyers are different, and they want to hear different information than my luxury buyers or than my commercial buyers. So I create ways to send them information that are directly relevant to them. Now, if you're just looking for deals on Twitter, that's easily done. Just go to search.twitter.com and search for phrases. At search.twitter.com, you can search for everybody within a 50-mile radius of your town, everybody within a 25-mile radius of your town. You can search for anybody that used the words moving to within 25 miles of your town. You can search for anybody that said the word divorce, home with a one listing and 2 buyers. You can use any of those phrases that may indicate that they may want to buy or sell real estate with you. Now, LinkedIn is another great place, and we've been diving more and more into LinkedIn, but I'll tell you guys something. I'm having more and more clients that check me out on LinkedIn prior to hiring me. And if your LinkedIn account is not updated, if the information is not good, if it's not professional, they may not hire you. I had a magazine that called me that said, hey, we saw your profile on LinkedIn and we want to talk to you about it. It's a good way to get local press. It's a good way to tell everybody what you're doing without shamelessly promoting it. We're also using LinkedIn to recruit agents to our office and to recruit agents to our team. We're using LinkedIn to hire our developers and our programmers for our software company. We're using it for everything. We run ads on LinkedIn now, advertising jobs. Listing assistant, buyer's agent, listing agent. We use it to advertise general managers, salespeople, telemarketers, programmers, developers. You can find those people. I also use it to steal your people. For instance, I just go and I search for who's a developer at XYZ company, and then I call them and ask them if they want to come work for us. You can search by job and see everybody in that company and what they do for work. You guys have one job. Once your business gets to the level where it's more than just you, your only job in life is finding, retaining, and recruiting talent. I just think LinkedIn is so cool to do that. The nice thing with LinkedIn, if you're a Sphere agent, you're an agent that gets a lot of referrals, is I can go find somebody that I just did a deal with, connect with them in LinkedIn, and then I can see who else were related to us. So, you know, this is me. I'm connected to Jay, and these are all these people that both Jay and I are connected to. And then I can see the people that Jay's connected to that I'm not connected to. This would be Lisa. So you can see how we're all related to a particular individual. You might use this when prospecting or calling or asking for referrals, or I use it and I check my internet leads in there. I'll put an email address into LinkedIn, then I'll go and I'll find that person. Then I'll send them a message and say, hey, you registered on my real estate website, and I had your email address, and I was just looking on LinkedIn, and I realized that you're also friends with Bob. How do you know Bob? I sold his house last year. So I build immediate rapport with people. Now, my cousin Chris Smith, gosh, he's a great teacher and a good friend. He's going to talk to us about Pinterest. So I'm not going to talk about it very much other than say, when you go to Facebook and you start searching for words, like I was looking for Vienna homes the other day. I searched for Vienna homes. What I saw Pinterest was showing up in the search results on Facebook. Right here, look, Pinterest. And somebody had shared images from somebody's website on Pinterest. And it went to Facebook. And now when I click on that link, I'm to that specific agent's Pinterest page. It takes you right off of Facebook. I'm thinking, wow, this is important. One of the things that you can do is you can go to pinterest.com/source/website. And I don't mean type the word website. I mean pinterest.com/source/benkinney.net. And you can see anybody who has pinned a picture from my website, pinterest.com/source/Bellingham Herald. You might use that to find local people. And you can see people that are sharing, commenting, pinning, and interacting with photographs all over the web. This could be a way that you could build your audience fast and local, which could help your business. Now, Facebook advertising, if you have some extra money when you're done doing all this stuff, or maybe you're doing it so well that you're generating a whole bunch of closings and you're making a ton of money, you might want to try creating some Facebook ads. Facebook ads are simple. You go to facebook.com/ads, click the Create an Ad button. Once you're there, you decide who you're going to advertise to. I like Facebook ads because I can advertise to everybody within 10 miles of Bellingham. I can pick specific ages to men or women. I could advertise to people that like an interest. For instance, if I list a bunch of golf properties, I might just advertise to people on Facebook that say they like golf within 10 miles of Bellingham. I can advertise to people who are connected to a specific fan page, people who are not connected to a specific fan page. I could target users who are friends or connected to one of my friends, and the ad will just show up to them. I think this is brilliant, effective target marketing, and you just got to run creative ads. Now, the worst thing that happens for me, if I run an ad and nobody clicks on it, at least they're stuck staring at my ugly Photoshop picture every single day. So when they do see me or they're driving around town and they see one of my signs, they're like, oh, I remember that guy. Or I call them and I say, hey, I saw that your home recently expired. I was seeing if you're still interested in selling. They say, oh, who's this? I'm like, oh, my name's Ben Kinney. Have we met or do we know each other? They're like, oh, no, I've seen your stuff on Facebook. I'm like, yeah, I stalk you. We start having these conversations. We're building this brand. And the nice thing with Facebook ads is you only pay if they click on it. So you can run ads for really, really cheap or free. Notice my ad says, don't click. It says, call me. That means if they call me, I don't get charged for it. The only people that click on it is my competition because they're mad at me and they want to charge me an extra $1 or $2. Now, the goal of all these things today is to become the mayor. And we talked about this earlier, and I got this from my good friend, John Washburn. He said that, Ben, you want to be found everywhere. You want to be seen when people Google. You want to be seen on Facebook. You want to be seen on Flickr and Google Images and Twitter and LinkedIn. You want to be the mayor. When people drive around town, you want them to see your signs and remember they saw you online. When you email them and call them and do marketing, you just want to be seen everywhere. You want to be the person that everybody remembers. And I hope these tactical, tangible tips today will help you in your business and help you take your life to the next level. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this talk today. Type into the chat box what you thought about today's little session with me and give me some feedback, because I take feedback. I want honest feedback, and I always want to do better. And you guys type in there what you want me to cover next time when we do the next RainCamp. Assuming that Bob invites me back, I would love to come back and share with you guys the next level or the next opportunity. To my friends at IMSD, Chris and Chad, my partners, and my friends at Active Rain, Nikki and Bob and Carrie and all you awesome people, thanks for having me on the call today. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as me, and the rest of this lineup is phenomenal. Like, you guys would be stupid not to hang out and listen to Chris and Bob, because they are some of the most influential and talented people